Shalom, shalom, everybody. Glad to be here one more time. Midweek check-in. Almost wanted to save this one for Shabbat because it's so personal to me, but hey, man, no time like the present. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us, so let's get it. Start off like this. Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 29, verses 21 through 23. The chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing and a house to cover shame. Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage than delicate fare in another man's house. This is the most important verse, the point. Be it little or much, hold thee contented that thou hear not the reproach of thy house. Now let's get that out of the Good News Translation. And here it's under a section called Home and Hospitality. The necessities of life are water, food, and clothing, and a house where you can have privacy. It is better to be poor and live under your own crude roof, even if it's like the smallest of space, but it's yours, than to enjoy lavish banquets in other people's homes. And this is the point once again. Be happy with what you have, even if it isn't very much, and don't listen to anyone who would insult your home or family. In parentheses, it says, or don't listen to insults from your family. And that's very valid too, because sometimes family be the main ones with the most to say. And the crazy thing about it, it mostly be the family members that haven't did nothing, little to nothing for you. Some people want you to do better so they can capitalize off of it. They want you to get a better job so they can ask you for more money. They know you don't have much, so they can't ask you for much. But if you got a better job, you can give them more. But I digress. Some manuscripts don't have those words. One ancient translation has, don't get a reputation for living off of other people. And this is very important also. That's a gem also, because some people make their whole living off of other people. Like, you got some people who do that quote-unquote panhandling or whatever, and they go home. I seen an instance where a guy was panhandling and he leave every day and go around the corner and hop in a Mercedes-Benz. But all this is furnished and being paid for by other people's labor. That's his job, being outside begging and panhandling. So, gotta be real careful, man. Gotta, you know what I'm saying, to say the full simple believe of every word, but the prudent man looketh well into his going. Gotta know who you giving to. It said when you do a good deed, know who you're doing it for, and therefore your good deed will not be in vain. I'll put the verse up on the screen for that. I saw something online that said that the lender becomes a slave. The borrower becomes a slave to the lender. Goes along with this too. You gotta be very careful, because when you never have, you always got to be at the mercy of somebody. You gotta act a certain way because you want them to still give you something, or you can't even be yourself because you don't want to make nobody mad that you might need something from, for real. So what I suggest, man, for real, is just work at least to make sure you have the basics, the things that it just say you need: water, food, and a roof over your head where you can have privacy. It says house, but it don't necessarily have to be a house. If it's an apartment or whatever, or even a room that you rent, where you paying for that, and that's your space, and you can have your privacy. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Nothing wrong with having nice things even. But like a wise man told me once, sometimes we had to separate our wants from our needs. And at that time, I needed to hear that, because every time I would get my hands on a couple dollars, I would go buy some clothes or some shoes or something when my basic necessities weren't being secured for real. So, always got to have that wisdom and got to be transparent. You can't tell everybody else what they need to be doing when they admit to you that there was a time where I ain't had my priorities in order, for real. You know, all praise to the Most High for helping me direct my way of right, as the scriptures say. Let's get another one. This is 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 5 through 10. Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds, destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself. This is where I messed up. I should have withdrew myself from the people that insist that gain is godliness, and that's the only way that you can be close to the Most High is if you have gain and you have a whole lot. But let's continue on. It says, but godliness with contentment is great gain. Gotta be content with what you have sometimes. Gotta be grateful and be content with what you have. It's not always about getting more. Sometimes it's about just being happy, relishing what you have. I remember when I first started working, and it was somebody close to me, like I said earlier, they wasn't working. And they was just basically like getting happy with what I was getting and like, oh, well, that's okay that you got this job, but I know you gonna end up getting another job. This ain't gonna be enough for you because you like nice things. You like this and you like that. Whole time I'm a minimalist. It don't even take a whole lot to make me happy for real. As long as I got the basics, I'm a happy camper. But this person was saying that and trying to project their spirit onto me because the more I had, the more they could acquire from me, because at that time I really was real heavy on the people pleasing, especially that particular person. I definitely wanted her to be happy and happy to be around me. So it's like she wouldn't even let me enjoy the fact that, look, after 3-4 years of chilling, I finally got a job. I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? I could do this, I could do that. I ain't gotta ask nobody to do this for me. I don't have to try to find a way to make this happen. I got a job. I can make this happen. But instead of me being content, I was around this person all the time, and therefore I wanted more. And there's nothing wrong with wanting more. Don't get me wrong. Don't get what I'm saying confused. Like, no, there's nothing wrong with wanting more. But at the same time, sometimes it's good to be content with what you have until you get to the space where you can have more. Excuse my phone. It's an hour. It was a new hour that just came in, and I forgot to cut that alarm off. But yeah, it happens. But let's continue on. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain that we will carry nothing out. Like they always say, never seen a Brinks truck behind a hearse. Verse 8, and having food and clothing, let us be therewith content. We just got that out of Sirach, food, clothing, and they also included a roof over your head. Verse 9, but they that would be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, desires, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Verse 10, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some have coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Notice it don't say money is the root of all evil, like people always like to quote it. It says the love of money. Let's get that same verse out of the New Living Translation. For the love of money is the root of all evil, all kinds of evil, and some people, craving money, have wandered from the true faith and pierced themselves with many sorrows. So we just got to be careful with that. And also going back to what I was saying, I'm going to be honest and transparent, as we supposed to be. Shout out to the brother Mark the Messenger I just commended him for the transparency that he gave in one of his recent messages, man. It's like it's not always about telling somebody else what they should do, or also, what really it is about advising our loved ones what they should do because of the mistake. We don't want them to make the same mistakes that we made. You see what I'm saying? So I have had consistent means to, like make sure that I have food and clothing and a roof over my head. All praise be to the Most High for like the past 10 years now. I allowed somebody who came in the picture recently to basically make me feel like what I had going on was not enough. You see what I'm saying? And just like, let's go back to the verse so I can quote it correctly. This was Sirach chapter 29, verse 23. And we're going to just read the God's Word translation one. It says, be happy with what you have, even if it isn't very much, and don't listen to anyone who would insult your home or family. And sometimes people don't mean bad. This person did not mean bad. This person came into the picture later on and was from the outside looking in, and they saw the quality of worker that I had grown to be. All praise to the Most High, because I came from spoiled, and somebody used to call me Pampered Man. That was the nickname for me, to actually being a laborer. you know, and just seeing the quality of labor that I was, they was like, you deserve more. You deserve to be treated better than, what you being treated. And at the time, it just hit me in a place that made me be like, you know what, I'm gonna show them, you know. And then there was some other opportunities that came into play or whatever, and it's like things that I wouldn't even have thought twice about. I started thinking about. You see what I'm saying? And then it put me in a place where, as though emotionally and spiritually, gave me a lot of unrest and unease. You know, and what they say, oppression maketh a wise man mad. Make you act out of your wisdom that you know better than to do. You see what I'm saying? And that's how you get in trouble. It said the beginning of wickedness is when one's heart departed from the Most High, when one departs from being grateful with what the Most High has given them. And that ungratefulness can lead to worse things. But all praise to the Most High. What they say, the righteous man, though he fall, he will not be utterly cast down, because the Most High holds him by the hand. So he only let you get so far. A great man told me one time, he said he felt like the Most High only let his chosen ones go but so far. And just like a dog is on a leash and the owner can pull him back when he about to jump over that fence, the Most High will pull his beloved ones back. So I thank him for that. But I was just saying, I allowed the words of somebody else to make me ungrateful for what the Most High blessed me with. And that's what I'm being transparent about now. And I'm repenting of that right in front of each and every one out here. I repent, and I hope that the Most High will accept my repentance. And, like King David said, the last thing we want is for him to take his spirit from us. So let his spirit remain in this poor little vessel right here, man. So let me continue on with the verses that we got right here. This is Proverbs chapter 23, verses 4 and 5. Labor not to be rich. Cease from thine own wisdom. Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven. New Living Translation. It's not saying don't work to be rich or don't hope to be rich one day or whatever. It's just saying this, New Living Translation. Don't wear yourself out trying to get rich. Be wise enough to know when to quit. And that's funny, because in this world, people look down upon you for quitting. I'm looked at as a bad guy in certain circles to this day because I quit. But the scriptures say right here, be wise enough to know when to quit. Know when to say when. With the Kenny Rogers, the Gambler, popular song when I was growing up. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away. I wish I knew the next line, but I don't. But anyway, that's the lines that was important to me. Know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away. It's very important to say, be wise enough to know when to quit. It's like I said, people make quitting out to be a bad thing, but sometimes quitting is the right thing to do. But in this world, we all know, right is wrong and wrong is right. Everything is upside down. But what the Most High say about that? Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. And that's Isaiah 5 and 20. We can find that. In the blink of an eye, back to the verses, verse 5. In the blink of an eye, wealth disappears, for it will sprout wings and fly away like an eagle. So, working, doing all that to get the wealth, and it just decided to just go away from you once you get it. Or so many things, like how many times you get a little extra money and then next thing you know, something go wrong with your car, or maybe something even go wrong with your health, or something like that, and you don't even get to do nothing with that money. So don't let that be your main goal, man. The Most High choose to bless you with it, that's a beautiful thing, but don't make that your life mission. Let your life mission be to fear the Most High and keep his commandments. This is the duty of all men, and if he choose to add some wealth onto you, hallelujah. If he don't, as long as he make it so that you can have the basic necessities of life, let's learn to be content, man. And don't let that other stuff drive us crazy. Keeping up with the Joneses, keeping up with this person, having more than this person, or whatever the case may be. Let's get into another one. Proverbs 11 and 4, because this is what it's all about. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. Being righteous will save your life. New Living Translation. Riches won't help on the day of wrath and judgment, but right living can save you from death. This is 1 Samuel 15:22. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 34:19. Something very important to know. The Most High is not pleased with the offerings of the wicked, neither is he pacified for sin by the multitude of sacrifices. Good News Translation. The Most High gets no pleasure from sacrifices made by ungodly people. No amount of sacrifices can make up for their sin. But let's see what he does accept. Psalm 51:17. The sacrifices of Elohim are a broken spirit and a contrite heart. O Elohim, thou wilt not despise. Amplified Bible. My only sacrifice acceptable to Elohim is a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart, broken with sorrow for sin, thoroughly penitent, repentant. Such, O Elohim, you will not despise, you will not take lightly, you will not hate. Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 21:5. Something that I brought out before, but it's worth bringing out again. A prayer out of a poor man's mouth reacheth to the ears of Elohim, and his judgment cometh speedily. Good News Translation. When poor people pray, Elohim hears them and quickly answers their prayers. So once again, being poor and keeping the commandments puts one in a position of power, not weakness. They hear that? Power. But they ain't gonna tell you that in church. Some real believers won't tell you that either. People just love their money, I tell you. But disclaimer, as we always do when we talk about this subject, let me hit y'all with the disclaimer. Ain't nobody hating. Sirach chapter 13:24. Good News Translation. There is nothing wrong with being rich if you haven't sinned to get that way. But there is nothing sinful about being poor either. Only the ungodly think so. So there we have it. And with that being said, shalom, shalom. Let's fix our mindsets. And if we don't have it all, we ain't rich, don't let nobody make you feel like that. That means you're not close to the Most High, or that you don't not displaying no fruits. Like we read last time, from them fruits is peace of mind, man. Love, kindness, joy. You know, you could be happy. What it said, if a poor man had wisdom, he had the right to feel proud. He had the right to feel good about himself if he had wisdom. And what's wisdom? The keeping of the commandments of the Most High. So if we doing that, we provided for, we got a roof over our head, we got food in our mouth, we got clothes on our back. Let's learn how to be content. People will make it seem like being content is a bad thing. Like, you're not supposed to be content. You're always supposed to want more. You're always supposed to get more. More. Some people drive themselves to their grave trying to get more. And like we just said, there's nothing wrong with being rich if you have not sinned to get that way. But if it ain't necessary, it might not be that time. What? I'm going to get one more verse. One more verse that wasn't intended for me to bring out here. Goodness, we going into this need to be this Shabbat lesson talk. I'm sorry, not lesson, because I don't call myself a teacher, but this need to be the Shabbat discussion because we really going in. We deep diving. I might let this stay for a midweek. I don't know. I might do another one for the midweek and put this one up on the Shabbat. We gonna see. Give me 1 second. This is Sirach, Ecclesiasticus. We reading this one straight from the Good News Translation. Chapter 11, verse 10. We're going to start at. My child, don't get involved in too many things. If you try to do too much, you will suffer for it. You won't be able to finish your work, and you won't be able to get away from it either. Verse 11. For instance, there is someone who never stops working, like a slave, but gets further behind all the time. Verse 12, on the other hand, someone may be very poor and not up to his task. He may be slow and may need help, but Yah is pleased with him and pulls him out of his bad situation. When he is back on his feet again, everyone is astounded. Verse 14, everything comes from Yah, success and failure, poverty and wealth, life and death, wisdom, understanding, knowledge of the law, love, and doing of good deeds. All these come from Yah. Error and darkness have been with sinners from the beginning, and those who enjoy evil will have it with them until their old age. Yah's gifts to religious or devout people are gifts that endure. If he approves of you, you will always be successful. And like we said, success is not always what people define success as. You got a roof over your head, you got food in your belly, you got clothes on your back. You successful. Don't worry about what nobody else says. Especially if you're doing all these things. You Most High give you the power to do all these things for yourself. You know. Let's go back. Let's continue on. Error and darkness have been with sinners from the beginning. Those who enjoy evil will have it with them to their old age. Verse 17. God's gifts to religious people are gifts that endure. If he approves of you, you will always be successful. Verse 18, someone may grow rich by working hard and denying himself pleasure, but what does he get for it? He says to himself. Verse 19, now I can finally sit back and enjoy what I have worked for, but he has no idea how long it will be before he must die and leave his wealth to others. Verse 20, stand by your duty and stick to it. Grow old at your work. Don't be jealous of what sinners achieve. Just stick to your own work and trust Yah. It is very easy for Yah to make a poor person suddenly rich. Verse 22, devout people will receive Yah's blessing as their reward, and that blessing can be given in a moment. 23, don't be concerned about what you need or what success the future holds for you. Verse 24, on the other hand, don't think you have everything you need and nothing can go wrong for you in the future. Verse 25, when things are going well, people don't think about hard times. And when things are going badly, they forget about prosperity. Verse 26, Yah can easily wait until the day of our death to punish us. Verse 27, at that time our deeds are open for all to see. All our happiness can be erased in one moment of misery. Verse 28, so don't think of anyone's life as happy until it is over, because all the evidence is not in until that person is dead. So, main things we need to take out of that, man, just stand by what the Most High giving you. Don't let nobody talk to you bad or make you feel bad about what you got going on. If the Most High is giving you that and put you there and he's providing for you through it, don't let nobody tell you, oh, you're supposed to have more than that. Oh, that's messed up, whatever. And a lot of people will tell you that, but they don't got nothing for you. I remember I had a person, I'm not even going to call them a family member for real, but there was a person. And they used to always be like, oh, you need to get a job. Oh, you need to get a job. And then when I did get a job, because I was, you know what I'm saying, just dedicating my time to studying, like in the old, in the books of the scripture, they say that the scribes was taking time. They had time, whereas though they had little business, and that's how they became wise. So during that time, the Most High made sure all my needs was met and everything. Person just begged me about getting a job. When I finally got a job, that's when this person came after the fact, like, oh, I wish you'd have told me you was looking. I could have got you one here. I could have got you one there. So I'm like, all right, so what's up? Go ahead and get it from me. Crickets. For real. Some people just want to have something to say. That's why back in them verses, they say don't listen to, sometimes they don't listen to your family. Don't listen to people that even really call themselves family, because this person wasn't no blood relative of mine. Just somebody attached themselves to somebody that is my family, and they start calling themselves family too. But yeah, man, like I was saying, just be content with what the Most High is giving you. And if you working, you doing the best you can, and you got a roof over your head, you got food in your mouth, you got clothes on your back, having delicate fare, having fancy stuff and all that stuff, that's your wants. And like my very wise brother, I call him my brother. That's somebody I do call family, call my brother, my big brother. Says sometimes you gotta separate your wants from your needs. If you got your needs in line and got them all taken care of, then sometimes the wants got to wait. But you got your needs, you should be grateful, and you should feel good about yourself. Like I saw a meme that said, if your bills is paid and you don't have no money, that's not broke. Broke is when you don't have no money and your bills are not paid, your needs is not met. You got your needs met, having food and clothing, be content, be relaxed, be at ease, be at peace. And I ain't going to talk too much longer, because this is really feeling like a Shabbat talk as opposed to a midweek check-in. I'll cut it right here. I'm going to say shalom, shalom, much love, and most high willing, we'll get together again real soon. All right? Love y'all.